Happy Tuesday, everybody. Today is my Monday because I took yesterday, actual Monday, off. I just had my annual doctor appointments kind of things. Regularly planned stuff, although I came in today and people were like, oh my gosh, are you sick? What was wrong? But all my kids knew what was going on. I told them, I just have some appointments. All but one of my classes got good notes from the sub. And she even left a list of the students she gave lunch detention to. So when that class came around, I told them, which was third period, which is probably why she had trouble, because she didn't know how to handle 30 kids. But I told them that they needed, it's like, y'all got bad notes. Y'all were the only class that got bad notes from the sub. And it was a mix. So she said some kids were good, a lot of kids weren't. So if you got lunch detention from her, you have to go today. You have to go today. If you don't go, I will know. And so those students, I just said that to the classes general, but those students responded with, yes, ma'am. So hopefully they went. I will have to follow up on that. As far as what we are doing today, Art 1 is going to the computer lab and printing out our words, which the printer's not working. They even came and looked at it again twice this morning and it's not working, but I can have them save the JPEG, and this afternoon I'll just have to go around to every computer and collect them into my drive, which I have done before. It's a pain in the butt, but it really only takes like 10 or 15 minutes to do it. But once I collect them all, then I can print them. So that will be workable. It's just annoying to do. So I gotta do that. But that's what we're doing. And then after they have that, there's a lot of them, it only takes them 20 minutes. Some of them it takes the whole class period. So I have the supplies for them to draw the grids on their papers so we can do enlargement to get their word from the printout to their project paper. And so they're drawing the grids. They don't know that it's for enlargement yet because I haven't talked to them about that yet, but I will tomorrow. So that's what they're doing. And if they finish the grid, which third period, oh my gosh, my speech of y'all did bad yesterday motivated them because they were like perfect. They were perfect for me yesterday or today. So most of them got the grid done. There was one girl, I love her, bless her heart, but she spent the entire class period working on her word, and we printed it or downloaded it right before the bell rang. Like I was clicking download and then it rang, or the bell rang as it was downloading. So that was interesting. But most of them finished their grids, and I was like, that's the only thing I had for them to do. So I was like, okay, you can go play games. And that gave them like maybe 5, 8, 10 minutes to play games, and they know what's appropriate. But I, of course, monitor, make sure it's appropriate that they're not playing gory games. But that worked out fine. Fourth period did pretty good. They were not as focused as they should have been. But my two girls who are doing Inktober with me came and they showed me their stuff, and I kind of felt bad because I haven't started it. But it's in my journal. Look, I'll even show you. It's in my journal. I put the info in there. I just haven't done it. So, yeah. There is that. In terms of the things that I have to get done today, it's not that bad. But I've been working on them. My prep for tomorrow is it's pretty much done. The sped stuff, y'all. The sped stuff. I haven't done yet. I think what I'm going to end up finishing with that is, instead of doing those big paperwork, the paper I showed you last week, I'm just going to type up my own, because that is going to waste so much paper, and that's overkill. But I'm at least going to finish filling those out so that I have condensed who has what accommodations. But as far as the actual log, I think I'm going to type my own. It's going to be a pain, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. So I'm going to make my goal to finish that by the end of the week. I also need to update my planner. I updated my grade book because it's a new 6 weeks, so all that needs to be updated. Then I've just been working on my bullet journal. I wanted to finish it yesterday. I did not. I was so frustrated. There's so many things I wanted to do yesterday, and it did not happen. At least started all of them, but they didn't get done. But thankfully, I should be able to leave pretty soon after our meeting this afternoon. Okay. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, I talked about Art 1 and Art 2, what they're doing. Art 3, no, what's Art 3 is doing? Art 2. Art 2 is just working on their, the warm versus cool designs. And so far those are going really well. Like third period, just Art 2 students started that today, and they're doing really well on it. I needed to work with them, with my 7th period though, about details in their paintings. We will see how they go, but details. We need to work on details. Okay. Thankfully today, I did not have that feeling that I get a lot of the times right after sub where like I'm constantly pushing to catch up. Like I feel like I'm doing okay. Like I am prepared. I'm not worrying too much about little things. I know where everything is. Like even first period, like there's a couple little things like the girls' papers and things like that, but I just gave them my keys, which I realized this morning without thinking about it. I can separate my keys, so it's even easier to lend kids my keys. Not really supposed to do that, but if we have students that we are super, super trusting with, I can give them my key to the room as if they can come get their work. The computer lab is just down the hallway. So yeah, what the heck was that? Also, it looks stormy outside. But yeah, it's been good. Like I feel like I'm not really that far behind, and honestly, like right now my brain is here because it's October 3rd and I'm not set up for October, and I had my heart set on having October set up before October started, but that didn't happen, and I don't want to get behind because I just caught up with all of September on Sunday. Yesterday I just finished writing all of those, and I was so happy. It made me feel so good that I finished September, so now I gotta work on October. And we'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go so I can do stuff. The other thing that I did is I made the stand for our Silver Eagle, the Staff of the Month award. So here's a picture of it. I wanted to do a little nameplate that said the school name and Staff of the Month, but I did not get to that this weekend, so maybe in the future. We will see. This afternoon went well. 6th period was loud and needy when we got to the computer lab. This always tends to be a problem when we get to the computer lab because it's hard to give group instruction in the computer lab. There is a projector, but haven't taken the time to connect with it. Think next time I do this project and next time I get instructions in the computer lab, I need to do what I normally do, which is use a Google form, or something I've never done before but should, is to actually project what I'm doing on the screen and have the kids follow along. Honestly, they did not take very long to do it, and they got done everything we needed to get done. A couple kids were a little behind, but normal stuff. But loud and like needy constantly. I even gave them a typed out sheet of the steps, and 7th period was great, nice and peaceful, and I gave them the good report that this sub left from yesterday, and even one student who she mentioned was very good and focused. He normally isn't, but he was like perfect, so I was like, thank you, you are awesome, thank you very much for your hard work. A couple of them kind of moved seats while they're working. I was like, I'm just going to let it happen. They're working, they're doing good. They did great. 8th period was loud, and I told them what the sub said. They were loud. They were loud, which is typical. I even told them, I was like, I'm not surprised because y'all do your work, but you're loud. That was no different in the computer lab. They all got their word done. They pretty much, I think all but like one student, nope, they all drew their grids and they all got to play games for a few minutes. So yeah, one girl even finished everything in like 20 minutes. Oh my gosh, like it's crazy. And it's raining outside. I have to go run. I ran in the rain twice last week. Well, guess what? I gotta go Hobby Lobby because blue paint. And at my best, I'm yellow. We will see. I think just some blue. But I started putting together a purchase order for Triarco so I can order my next round of supplies. And I put that as my reflection for the last 6 weeks that just passed. I need to order supplies ahead of time. So I'm gonna have to keep that in mind with my budget this year. But we will see. I'm gonna go, and even though not everything's ready for tomorrow, but you know, I got my copies done, and I know what we're doing, and I'm even pretty much ready for Thursday. So I'm gonna go to Hobby Lobby and go on my run and go enjoy my time at home. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Well, hello there. Today is Wednesday, October 4th, and it is now my conference period, and I am freezing cold, so I'm wearing my sweater that is covered in lint, and one of the teachers that I eat lunch with was like, okay, if you don't clean your sweater, I'm gonna go clean it for you this afternoon. So I had to clean my sweater, but I'm so cold, y'all. I'm cold. Today has gone pretty well so far. First period, we are doing the enlargement practice to help us draw our word from small to big, and then they're moving pretty quickly through that. Apparently, how I'm demonstrating it this year is working really well. What I'm having them do is take a sticky note and cover up all but the column that they're working on. So they're going square by square and copying, and then scooting it over, going square by square and copying. And I'm having them do it super detailed, even though when they draw their word, it's not going to be as hard. It's going to be like so dang easy. So easy. So there is that. And that's what Art 1's doing. Art 3 was just working on their projects. Art 2 this afternoon was also just working on their paintings and warm and cool color things. Eagle time advisory. So on Monday, when I wasn't here, I gave them a packet to do, and our focus in that class is social emotional learning. So I found some social emotional learning worksheets that were easy. You just had to do them. And so I made them a packet for Monday when I was gone, and now like half the class period they had to do this, and the half class period they had the grade level meetings. But they did nothing, and I know she gave them to them because like 3 kids did the whole thing, and a couple of kids started it, but they did nothing. And she put in her notes, "Oh, it went well." They didn't do anything. Like, come on. So it's like, okay, we're not going to move on to our next lesson, and you're going to lose game time on Friday until these are done. And so it took them, and I was waiting for like 100% completion, and I just wait till we got to like the last 2 people. It's like, okay, we only have 10 minutes left in class. We need to move on and start our lesson that was assigned for the day. So we started it. We got partly through it, but that means on Friday we'll have pretty much the whole class period to get caught up. And the good thing about that is I don't have to worry about minute-to-minute games on Friday. And although they like them, last week it didn't go as well. So I need to figure out something better. So that's been my challenge this morning. Other than that, I have so many things. Like, lesson plans are due today. I made the file, but I haven't started it. I haven't even done like the pre-planning. There's that, and then excuse me. So there's that, and then I can't even think clearly. Sped paperwork I need to figure out, and I've heard rumors that we might get audited with through the Texas Education Association for SPED because of an incident. And it really was just a disagreement between coworkers who weren't getting along, and they reported stuff to higher ups, and ugh. There's these two, a SPED aide and a SPED teacher she's assigned to, do not get along, and stupid drama. But that might mean that because one reported the other, so that means I should get my SPED paperwork together. That's all that means. That's all that means. Another thing I want to talk to you about. Now I deleted it, so don't go search for it, but someone made a comment on one of my last videos, and this person is ignorant, very ignorant, saying something like, it started off positive, being like, oh, your videos do a good, after the class, like what kind of recounting what happened, it's good insight. And she's like, well, I hope you find your way out of your prison school. Really, just kids shouldn't be trapped inside all day. And you know what they say, people who can't do, or people who can do, and people who can't teach. Well, y'all, people who can and people who master teach. Like, you teachers out there, you know, you have to be the master of your content. You have to be very knowledgeable as an educator, and you have to be an expert behavior manager in order to be a successful or very successful teacher. It takes so much, and I know from experience in my husband coming and being a guest speaker at a class all day. He just spoke to every class period. He didn't even get it, even doing that. Like, I almost replied to that person, and I was like, you know what? And I started typing out, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to change this person's mind. And I don't want that negativity. And teachers out there, you know I'm a teacher. I support y'all. We work so hard. And haters out there, they're going to be stupid. They're going to continue to be ignorant. And sometimes we just got to ignore them and not give them the time of day. That's why I decided not to comment on that person, just delete the comment. Like, they don't even deserve to be acknowledged. Negativity. And I just thought that was a silly thing I would share. But right now I have 36 minutes until the bell rings. So I have to go do some work. Y'all, it's like 4:23. I'm gonna leave because I have a chance to leave early. Oh my gosh, I have a chance to leave early. Oh, I'll catch y'all in the morning. Hi. It is Thursday, and it's after school already. I haven't updated y'all, and there's stuff on my floor. Today was quite the day. Not bad, really, just low on energy and kind of bleh, and a lot of I'm not feeling it. This morning wasn't bad. And in fact, second period today was my animation class, and they actually did really well. Half of them were part of a reward for 8th grade from having good behavior for 6 weeks, so they got pulled out second period, and they all went to the local park, and they got ice cream and stuff. So I just had half of my class, and we did stop motion animation using humans as the objects, and they had a lot of fun with that. At first they were hesitant, but they started getting into it, and it was silly, and they figured out some things. And then we came back in the classroom and just started watching all of the stop motions we had made, and that killed a lot of time. We didn't even get through half of them. So that worked out really well, and that was a lot of fun. That was one thing that worked. That was kind of my highlight. My low point was just kind of personally, I'm having some digestion cramps. I'm not sure why. The only thing different is I drank Soylent today, which should not give me cramps, but oh well. Thankfully, this afternoon, my kids' behavior and focus was great, so I just sat at my desk and worked on Inktober, because I had to catch up with some of my kids, and I started getting ahead. I skipped number 1, because I don't know what to do for that. But I think my plan is every time I sit down, I'm just going to do my little drawing and do do at least a couple, just kind of do a few at a time, because I'm not going to do it on the weekends. I'm only going to do it at school. And you can see, I mean, they're not that detailed, really. But I have that. So I was saying I was working on my journal. I wanted to show y'all. I was really happy how it turned out, because I didn't know how it was going to turn out. My cover for October is nice and pretty. I like it. I like it a lot. It turned out really good. And I got all of the spreads set up for October, so now tonight I get to go through and finish updating them and set out my plan for this week that already started 5 days ago. But hey, it's in there. But that's really exciting. I had a handful of things. You can see my little mission control. I needed to do set up sped stuff, which, by the way, I did not, but I started setting up things on my own on the computer, so I have my own little checklist thing that's clearer to read. Updating grades, I did not do that, but I finished October setup, and I finished Inktober. So I got things done today, and it is 4:15, and I want to leave. Second day in a row that I'm leaving pretty early, and I kind of feel bad for that, because I know there's more things I can do, but at the same time, like, I'm just kind of I want to go home, hopefully get home before my husband gets home, so I can just have some time for myself. I didn't get to editing yesterday. I also stupidly did not stretch yesterday. It's a lot of complaining right now, and I'm sorry. I don't really keep thinking about it, but one thought that came to mind when I read that comment I shared with y'all yesterday about the person who is like, I hope you leave your prison school soon and get free from your prison of a school or something like that. I hope that y'all see on this channel that I'm not like super negative person. I love my job. And as with any job, there's going to be ups and downs. And there's good things and bad things about every job, and I love my position, especially this year that I am a leader. I am a team leader, basically, and the kids really respect me, and I don't have any major behavior problems, and even the admin comes to me with advice and consults and stuff, or for some advice and consults, so I hope that y'all see that. But anyways, to forget about that, I'm going to go home and enjoy my evening, and at this point when I leave, I'll get home at 5, which will be beautiful! Okay, so I'm going to go, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Well, hello there. It is the end of the day on Friday, and I am ready to go home, and yet again, it is early. It is 4:10. On Monday, this Monday coming up, is a professional development meeting day, and I already know that at least a couple hours of the day I get to just have work time, because we have parent-teacher conference meetings for the grade level core teachers, but I'm probably not going to be involved. Most likely 90% chance I'm not going to be involved with that, so that's nice, which means that I'm going to leave all of my mess over the weekend, because I need to check out and leave. Good news though, I finally got all of my SPED paperwork updated for the first 6 weeks, and I have it set up for this 6 weeks. Started updating it. I need to update it by week. But yeah. I don't know what is going on with my body. Sorry if this seems TMI, but so I mentioned yesterday, I think, I had a Soylent for lunch, and I was feeling some indigestion, and today I had it again, and I had it almost immediately after I started drinking it. Thankfully, I grabbed it right before 4th period and started drinking it because I was just starving, so I just went and grabbed it. But I was having immediate like stomach ache. I could feel it in my head, like my pressure was swelling, my head was starting to swell, and just energy drain. I could tell my body was hating it. And so I stopped drinking it, and 4th period wasn't over yet, so I just looked up the ingredients. There's nothing in there I'm allergic to that I know of. The only thing that is soy, but I haven't really had this much of a reaction to soy before. And I got a box of Soylent a couple months ago well, actually my husband did. He tried chocolate flavor and didn't like it, so I drank it and it was totally fine, had no reactions at all. But I can't drink it now, which is such a shame because it's such a good solution. And it's a higher calories too. My normal shake's only 170, this one's 400. And I'm at that point in my training that I need more calories. But thankfully, I was able to get that figured out before lunch, and so I went and bought cafeteria lunch, and our cafeteria is really good at having a variety, so I just got a mismatch of like vegetables and bread. But I had like peas and carrots, and then raw carrots, and then pickles, and then fried rice, and tater tots, and a roll. Totally random, but it was good. Our cooks are very good at flavoring things. Like even if like the peas and carrots were just like canned peas and carrots, but they flavored it with like butter and spices, and it was good. It was good. And they normally have stuff like that. So that was a good option, and so that left me the whole afternoon just feeling, and I'm finally just now like starting like an hour-ish ago, starting to feel a lot better. Like I still have a little bit of a headache, and my stomach still hurts just a little bit, but starting to finally kind of get over that. And I hadn't done it yet this year, but I had these ginger candies. Can't see it, there you go. These Sina ginger candies, and it's basically like a little caramel almost, but it's not caramel flavor, with ginger flavor. And it's only 3 grams of sugar, by the way, 25 calories, but ginger will solve stomach issues. So I ended up having 2 of those in a row during like 6th period or something, and that helped a lot, but just feeling lame the whole afternoon and not motivated. And right now I want to go enjoy my weekend, and then on Tuesday or Monday when we come back, I'm just going to come in at my normal time and start getting things cleaned up and ready. I do not have grades in, and I'm probably going to get called out on it because I have no grades for this week, but have the work. So that's how my afternoon went. Oh, in terms of lessons, so Art 1 today, the entire day is just working on finishing up their backgrounds and drawing their words for typography collage, and I don't have one right here that I can show you. So they were just working on that, and then we'll start the last couple steps on Tuesday and finish on Wednesday. Art 3 is finishing up their 3-point cities, which are looking amazing, and I might have to give them an extra day on Tuesday. I'll have to assess that. Then Art 2 started 2-point perspective tree houses, and I have that right here. I'll show you the little picture example. 2-point perspective tree houses right there. And they did okay in that lesson. They're just a little bit what we call squirrely. Just like it sounds, just a little wiggly, a little out of control, but you can tell they tried to do well. And this one girl they have these like gold or silver chains. I don't know why, because they want to think that they're thugs or gangster. I guess. I don't know why they wear them. But one boy was taking it off and playing with it, and so he had it on his table, and then a girl at the table next to him grabbed it and threw it across the room. And it just crashed against the wall on my desk, was really loud while we were watching a video. And I had to deal with that, but I was able to figure it out at least. Which reminds me, I need to write down and remind myself that that girl has lunch detention on Wednesday, because I'm going to forget. Okay, I have done that. So that happened. That was a deal. But anyway, so we're starting 2-point perspective tree houses, and as a inspiration starter, we looked at Frank Lloyd Wright, and I showed him a handful of his buildings. They thought they were pretty cool. It's a good inspiration for creating like a dream building of some kind. And then we watched a video talking about Falling Water, his most famous, and then they did a writing about it. And this time around, I have it right here. I always put things away as soon as we were done with them. That's what helps keeps me sane, by the way. Here it is. We did this from the Art of Education. It is, hang on, there we go. It is the Art Detective question sheet. And I think the original idea behind the activity is to do it in pairs, but I didn't really want to do that in pairs. So we just did it alone, and because it was so much and a lot to do, I didn't have them write full sentences or paragraphs like I normally do. I just had them number 1 through 10 and just answer the questions. And they did. And I think all but like 2 answered all of them. And the reason why that is because those 2 were just talking all the time. So I put a timer on. It was like, when the timer's up, I'm going to grab your paper, and that's your grade. And that was interesting. And then after that, I attempted to demonstrate to them 1 point and 2 point perspective. Got through 1 point real fast. That took like 2 minutes. And then started getting through 2 point, and I was trying to teach them and show them the rules. There are 3 main rules with 2 point perspective. Vertical lines straight up and down. Lines to the left, go to the left. Lines to the right, go to the right. Vanishing, what I mean by that, left vanishing point, right vanishing point. And I said the rule number 1, started on rule number 2, and they just kept interrupting and laughing, and I was like, okay, well, obviously you want to do this without actually knowing how to do it. And so I gave them the paper and let them work. 3/4 of them did it wrong and were asking me how to do it. And so I really quickly attempted, while people were working and talking, to demonstrate it on the camera. They still were not getting it. A couple more people got it when I did that. But so what that means is that on Tuesday, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it all together, because they aren't going to get this unless they actually do it and listen, and they're not getting that. But that means that they're going to have less time to be creative on their projects, which is a shame, but we've got to get our content. These kids still got, some of my classes are hitting this point where it's like, we have to do the work, we have to learn. So that was generally my classes, and I guess the last thing to talk about was my advisory class this morning, which went well because we had so many things we had to catch up on, and we finished it just in time. And I also bribed them with Jolly Ranchers, and that worked. But I know I can't do that all the time. But since it was Friday, I was like, okay, I gotta get them to get this done. Like, we've gotta get it done. And they did okay. And some of them actually did not finish all the work. Actually, by the end, most of them did not get their second Jolly Rancher because they didn't finish it all. But yeah, that's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna go enjoy my weekend. I need to go stretch so bad because I have not stretched in 3 days, which is so stupid. And then I need to get stuff ready because tomorrow we have a run, and it's only 6 miles. And our coach was already like, we're gonna run. If anybody wants to run 1 or 2 extra miles after, we're gonna get together and do that. And I'm just like, no. But honestly, we'll see how I feel. I've done that so many times before, and then I get there, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Like, there was one time where it was 2 miles versus 5 miles, and I got there and I was like, okay, I'll run 5 miles. And then there's another day where it's like 3 miles versus 7 miles. I'm like, okay, I'll run 7 miles. I do just fine. It's just like, eh. And then Clay Studio would be awesome, and do a bunch of other stuff I want to do. So I hope you get to do something that you want to do this weekend for yourself, and I hope you enjoy your weekend. I will see you on Monday.